Hey guys, how's it going? We are just getting set up. We are doing a little different testing today. There we go. Getting the monitor adjusted for the mic. The testing today is a little bit different than what we've done in the past. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to have two avatars in these rides. And we are going to test, one is on the S5 and the disc, and the other one is on the Zwift Steel with the Zwift like cheapo zip wheel or Zwift wheels. So basically we took one of the fastest setups and one of the slowest setups, and we're going to see if we can recognize a big difference riding them in the pack. So this is going to get interesting. How much time we got? I got a minute 30 left. We'll see how, so the top rider here is, on the, S5 with the disc wheels. The bottom rider is, find it here. The Zwift Steel bike with the, we gotta look at, with the Zwift Classic wheels. So those are our two setups. I'm not a big fan with how the music sounds here. Sounds a little garbled. Uh-oh. Oh, I know what it is. So we've got some fan issues, but we gotta turn on the power strip. Alright, I'm feeling a little better today, but not completely back to normal. So we're not counting on this being a super hard ride here. And here we go, rolling out. We'll see how these two rides stay together here. We're paired to the same power meter, same heart rate, same height and weight on the riders. So we're right here together. It's just a matter of how we react in the pack. It's a really big pack. So maybe we'll get a feel for how well one versus the other stays in the pack. We'll also get into the climbing. This is a mountain route, so we'll see if we notice a big difference later in the ride when we get into the mountain portion of it. Right now, essentially, my two riders are staying together. I'm looking at the mobile app, and they're within the same second of one another.
Time, hold your breath, you're the only one I see. Breathe me in, taste your lips, you're the only high I
interesting is on the mobile app, I can't see my other rider now. They're clearly both here, but I'm not seeing them both. My avatar seems to be moving up a little bit more than the other avatar is right now. Nothing of any significance, but I think in general I'm further forward on my account versus I'm right up at the beacon on the S5, and I am not there on the Zwift setup. It's the Zwift Steel bike and the Zwift Classic wheels. And I am almost kind of losing the pack back there. I'm actually going to pick it up a little bit to try to force my rider behind to get back up to the pack here, so we don't lose him in the pack. So I just went zooming past the yellow beacon in my front avatar, and just to get onto the back with the steel wheel guy. So definitely an interesting difference so far. Is that a bike difference, or is that just a bad luck in the sticky draft? You know, what exactly is causing those differences? I'm ahead of the yellow beacon in the on the Cervelo, and I'm behind the yellow beacon on the Zwift bike. It is a huge group ride, so we don't even see all the riders in the group ride. You can clearly tell one rider is ahead of the other. Remember, we're same height and weight and info here, so definitely interesting here to see how this is flushing out already. When we get on the hill, do we recognize a difference? Now, here's going to be the concern on the hill. We're not necessarily on a light bike or light wheels either, and maybe that's something we should have accounted for in this test. Was more wanting to check like pack dynamics, because I don't think the slower on the flat bike isn't necessarily going to come into its own on the hill either. It's still a heavy bike and a heavy wheel set. So we may need to do a similar test like this in the future with the wheels being maybe something like the lightweight wheels that'll be faster on the hill but slower on the flats. That might be a bigger difference. What everybody kind of wanted to see first is just riding in the pack. Is there going to be a big difference? And right now, it's not huge. This isn't a fast pack by any means, but the Cervelo is very clearly staying further forward. No doubt about it. The Cervelo is ahead of the leader, and well, we're both ahead of the leader. The leader is out of view for the further ahead guy, so I'm going to try to drop back to the yellow beacon on my second account, we're gonna try to stick where the yellow beacon is always in sight for both riders, and use the yellow beacon as our reference point to kind of gauge where we're gonna be at. Clearly a difference, though. Very clear difference. So I'm 45 meters ahead of the ride leader with the Cervelo setup, and I'm essentially right with the leader on the Zwift setup. More likely than anything, Nike, it's probably interference. It's probably something else that's interfering with it. So, what I would look at is something like changing your router channel to and making sure you're not having any outside noise that's interfering with your signal. Typically that is change your router channel to something usually under channel 5 is pretty clear, but if you get up around, and this is on your 2.4 gigahertz channel on your router, if you get up around channel 10, you start severely overlapping with the ANT plus signal, and it can cause a lot of dropouts. So you want to remove your router from being auto assigned on channel, and you want to force it to a lower channel number. Some can go with channel 1. A lot of times channel 1's pretty busy with neighbor systems and stuff like that. So sometimes you'll get better performance on channel 2 or channel 3. But you want to get the channel as low as possible on your 2.4 gigahertz to keep things in line. I'm at the first pillar on the bridge on my forward guy. Wow, this is pretty shocking. I can't believe we're seeing this much difference in the draft. I really assumed that in the draft we'd stick fairly together. I'm going to try to drag back a little bit with my front rider, but I can't drag back too much or I'm going to drop my rear rider. I'm riding two avatars with the same power meter. The upper avatar is on the Cervelo S5. The lower avatar is on the Zwift steel bike with the classic wheels. I'm okay today, Frank. I'm able to ride at this pace, but I'm not going to go hard. So, the S5 is very clearly faster here. Like very, very clearly faster in the pack right now. I'm kind of kicking myself. I went to extremes on the bike. I went with like the fastest and the slowest bike to see if there was a noticeable difference in the pack. There very, very much is a noticeable difference in the pack. As far as we're paired to the same power meter, doing the same pace, same height, same weight. One of my riders is well behind the beacon, and the other one is well ahead of the beacon. You can tell looking over my shoulder in the upper guy, you can see how far the beacon is behind me, and my back guy, how far the beacon is ahead of me. So it's a bit interesting. So I'm actually going to do a little purposeful braking on this lead guy. So I'm going to keep bumping the pairing screen here a little bit. I'm going to try to drag this forward guy back a little bit. Let's see if we can cue these guys up together again and get a difference again. Yeah, we're still way ahead of the leader. So you can tell by bumping the pairing screen, I'm scrubbing about 4 miles an hour from the upper avatar here to drag him back a little bit. We got a long ways to go backwards yet, though. I like full stopped him for a minute. Okay. Forward avatar is still ahead of the beacon with all of this braking I've done. Further back avatar is still well off the back. I'm going to push a little bit to try to move the back guy forward and keep pumping the brake on the front guy. See if we can't get them both at the beacon and see where we go from there. So the beacon has went around my front guy. Channel 1 is usually pretty good, actually. If that's your 8.4 or 2.4 channel. So, that's typically the good one. So then you're going to be looking for other things that are interfering. Make sure you've got your ANC Plus dongle in a good location. Are you using an extension? Where exactly is your dongle in relationship to the trainer? You want good line of sight between the dongle and the trainer. So like for me, I hang my dongles off to the left side. Yeah, he's got a filter on it. If you, I figured out a way around it, Frank. There's a button that you can hit that if you do like a button to say like edit my own copy or something like that, it'll make yourself a copy of the spreadsheet and allow you to change the filters on your copy. It's all there, he's got the spreadsheet filtered, and unless you have edit access, you can't change the filters. So it's just a permissions thing. So I'm pumping the brake a little more, trying to get my riders together here. Alright, my riders are pretty well together now. So now we're not going to hit the brakes anymore. Let's give it some time on the climb. And how much difference do we see here? I wish I would have put like the lightweight wheels on in like the Amonda or something. Something that's super light but not aero. Right now, I think we're just on the Zwift bike setup I've got right now is just slow all around. Ah, good tip, Frank, good tip. Yeah, on the dongle placement, like you don't want the dongle where it's like reading the trainer through your body or through any hard objects. You don't want the dongle on the floor. You need to elevate it. You need to have it dangling somewhere. 360 degrees of the dongle needs to be unobstructed for the best reception. So don't just lay it on the floor under the trainer. That's not good. Raise it up, hang it off of something, dangle it somewhere within, 4 foot of the trainer where there's no physical obstruction between the trainer and the dongle. Well, that's a given, kitten, little bits. That just hurts. If you can't tell if you're sitting on your dongle, you need to get a new seat. That's a saddle problem, not a dongle problem. So, I hate getting little bits. You can see clearly the Cervelo's creeping forward again. So we're gonna have to do another test like this tonight. Let me see if I can find a hilly route tonight that has, we can switch to like a super light bike and super light wheels that aren't aero. And what I was, then I think in a scenario like this, what we would have seen is going into the mountain, the Cervelo would have been at the front, the lightweight bike would have been at the back, but as we went up the mountain, the lightweight wheel would have, or the lightweight bike would have caught and passed the Cervelo. We're not experiencing that here because the bike that's further back by the ride leader is just bad all around. It's Zwift Classic wheels on a Zwift steel bike, and riding the same power meter in the same group ride, we're just flat leaving the Zwift bike behind on the Cervelo. We're continuing to pull a gap away from the leader on the front, while the Zwift bike is continuing to fall behind the leader. I pumped the brakes and drug my lead rider back probably 100 meters or more to get back to the ride leader again, and we're drifting apart again. Hey, 74 Green, what's up, man? So, clearly, it's consistently forward. I don't know, the Tron still tests well. It's really just trying to figure out, you know, what's best now. It's a tough call. It's a tough call. I'm gonna try something here real quick. Does this help? No. Bumping up the contrast a little bit on the chat box. You could also just try a different USB plug on your computer. Yeah, Kitten Little Bitch, you can. There are programs. Training Peaks will create a ZWO file. We're falling off the, or no, we're not falling off the back. Gotta remember which one's which. We're off the front on the Cervelo and we're getting a big gap. Tron is still fastest over a mixed course, but that's with a set pace and no drafting. What I'm trying to get a feel for today is how big of a difference does a bike make in the draft? So, and I didn't want to muddy this up with the Tron bike because we think the Tron bike may have some special physics to it. So, I'm sticking with one of the best road frames and wheel sets, which is the 808 disc wheel set on the S5, is what my upper Avatar has on it. My lower Avatar has the Zwift steel bike with the Zwift classic wheels. And at this point, we are way apart. It is 43 meters back, 45 meters back to the yellow beacon from my lead rider, and my trailing rider is behind the beacon. And back on the suspension bridge, we moved them together. So we've only went a half mile or a mile on the mountain in this pack since we pulled these two riders back together and reset them. If I hadn't reset them, we would probably be over 200 meters apart at this point. Both avatars should have the same physics, height and weight, and they're paired to the same power meter. You can see their power and everything is in lockstep. So I'm trying not to let my front rider get too far forward because he's got a check mark and I don't want to be the jerk with his... no problem, Frank. So I don't want to be the jerk with a Zwift verified check mark getting off the front of a group ride here, so I'm trying to be careful. But we're riding two avatars on different bikes, but same height and weight in the same group ride. The upper avatar has on the Cervelo S5 and the disc wheel. The lower avatar has on the Zwift steel bike with the Zwift classic wheels. And we're seeing a huge disparity in where they end up at in this pack. With the only virtual difference here is the bike. So, what this tells me is, while it may not be a huge difference in a race, it's clearly a noticeable gap here. I mean, if we were TTing at this point, and I hadn't brought I've reset the avatars back together once already, and we are again way apart. Looking over my front avatar's shoulder, you can see where the yellow beacon is. We would easily be double this distance ahead if we hadn't reset them halfway up the hill here. So what this is telling me is, you know, this could be a significant difference in a race. Doesn't seem like much, but this is probably 1 or 2% difference in power to form this kind of gap. I'm barely holding on to the pack with my reverse avatar, my further back avatar, and my front avatar is just flat riding away from the pack. So, I'm really surprised at what we're seeing here. So, I think this warrants more testing. I'm not sure exactly it's going to point to a clear recommendation on how to use the bikes in a race. But what it is pointing to me is you can't just say, oh, because I'm in the draft, I don't care about my bike. I think it matters. I want to do the same test in a few different scenarios. So the next time, I want to take this further back avatar. No, Spence. No, I think other than in the competitive esports races, I don't think there'll be any bike restrictions. I think you should get to ride what you've earned, so I don't expect that to come up. Hey, Savage Vic, what's up? So the problem I've got here is my second avatar. Thanks for the follow, too. Did my follow not pop up? It did not. Yet. We'll see. The follow should have popped up with a notification somewhere. You might be. Right now. Lightweights on the road to the sky. Lightweights. I think the lightweights are going to be on the road to the sky. You got to ride the lightweights. Honestly, though, if they there's no definitive confirmation if they fixed the draft or not. The race results to me, or the ride results on the Norseman, does not look to me like they fixed the draft. First place won by 10 seconds and had half a watt per kilogram faster than second place. Second place was a half a watt per kilogram less than fourth and fifth place that were minutes back. So I can't wrap my mind around how the results look the way they did without drafting. Unless just everybody kind of has to reset because nobody was on TT bikes. I don't know. Until I witness a Norseman, I would assume it's draftable still. So if it's draftable, definitely lightweight wheels, lightweight bike, and take the time on the Alp. We're testing a Zwift steel bike versus a Zwift or a Cervelo S5 in a disc. Same grip ride, same avatar height and weight. The Cervelo, which is the top avatar, is well ahead of the rear avatar. We've actually drug him backwards a few times. He's no longer drafting anyone, and we're still, my back avatar here is at risk of losing the pack. Actually, so if we hadn't have reset these guys, we would be looking at an enormous gap between these two riders right now. We pulled the front rider back a little bit to try to kind of reset and make sure we're still seeing the same sort of things. But we very clearly are still seeing huge advantage for the Cervelo. The issue we've got here actually is both of these accounts don't have all this hardware unlocked. So It's going to be harder to test higher end bikes here because my secondary account doesn't have any of this data available to them. So I'm gonna have to think about how to do this. I'm not a fan of hacking drops, so I have to think about what to do here. I'm really soft pedaling my front avatar over the top of a hill here to try to get him to just slow down. My front avatar is all the way up the road around that curve. My rear avatar still has a roller to go over. Haha. Hey, Savage. You can watch me anywhere. I can see comments anywhere. We are going to pop open though. Alright, it's Kiss Super League time. Ladies Kiss Super League's running right now too. Come on. We might overload the second PC here a little bit for a second. Hopefully it's not too bad. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, we got Super League going now too.
Don't wander around your memories, because you might get lost.
Yeah, I'm got the ladies race on too, which may hurt my feet a little bit from my second PC. I may need to kill that. Do that a different way. I'm gonna kill that feed on the second PC. Open it on the main PC. It's probably gonna have a better ability to keep up. I think what's going to happen here is on the descent, my back rider is going to be, I'm going to fight to keep my rear rider with the pack, and they should catch my front rider on the downhill.
not be the truth. What's truth? It's what you want it to be.
Still a pretty shocking difference here. So we're crossing the top of the hill now, up ahead, and I gotta move forward on this back one. I backed way off and we've actually closed a lot of this ground down. Oh, we're doing the bonus climb still. Yikes. You guys have kind of grainy audio right now? There, it's a little better. Hey, face set, thanks. I'm actually gonna use a power up on the back avatar here in a second. Continuing to have some audio malfunction here. Oh, is it Zwift's audio that's a mess? Like I feel like it's my audio that's off. Like is my machine skipping? I keep adjusting my PC. Okay. They are doing it remote today. Well, remote. I think Nathan, they're at Zwift headquarters. They're in LA in the office, so I mean, it should be good internet connection. My second avatar is 5 seconds behind my primary avatar now. Let's drop this front guy back a little bit. This is interesting. I'm confused at where my riders are now. Oh, the trees are different. The trees are different. Right? I just completely dropped out of the Zwift feed. Completely lost it. They gone. Let's go to Twitch. See if we can get them at Twitch. It's a little better than Facebook. Trying to slow down my front rider again here. I mean, I'm having to slow down my front rider. I'm trying to back up to get these guys back together. And I'm slowing them down a lot. Okay. They're still not together. I'm not even seeing the same riders around me. It's really odd. So why does my avatar that's further forward see the yellow beacon and the riders nearby, but the one that's closer to the yellow beacon does not see the yellow banner and the riders nearby? I'm so confused. Like, what we're seeing on the road is so different between these two that are virtually in the same place. My front avatar is doing under 2.5 watts per kilogram, and he's pulling the front of the yellow beacon group, essentially. My other guy is starting to drift back. It's so confusing here. I'm still really surprised at the differences we're seeing here. My back rider's got to pick up here.
Dancing through the streets, we wander, falling for the fire, burning at the heart, throwing hands up to the
So lost at what's going on here. Why are we seeing this big of a difference? These bike differences in weight shouldn't be that much. We've got on a 808 disc wheel. Even with the steel classic wheels, like, it still shouldn't be. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the steel bike's going to catch up here just because of the draft, I think, but the draft is going to be big here. Honestly, I'm going to have to be careful. We're kind of in trouble on the draft here. We're losing on the reverse, on the back avatar, we're losing. We're getting swarmed now, at least. But we're struggling at the back to keep up. While we're going to the front up ahead. So by kicking a little bit there, we moved forward a bunch with the rear avatar by timing that just right. The view looks like crap on my back rider too. Like, I don't like the The avatar view feels different. We're essentially in the same spot now. We're nose to tail on my two avatars now. All-Stars are rocking it. Hubak, Baldy. Cervello's drifting forward again. Swift just went offline. Wow. So I think we might... We need to see what gear is available to my second avatar here. I want to do more testing here, but we need more gear available to two avatars to do more testing here. A free man. Served your penalty, huh? Out of the penalty box? For now. Are they from that area? I'm losing it in the back. Poor Swift. Holy cow. Whew. They just restarted the stream to try to fix it. Probably a little tough all being in the same place today. Boss mans can come put their hands on your shoulders while it's going on. I think they're all in LA together this week, so I think everybody involved in the stream is sitting in the same room, essentially. I keep resetting and I'm not getting anything back. Getting some clear gaps again. I'm not convinced, guys, based on this, I'm not convinced that you don't need to consider bike choice for the flats as well. And when I say that is, I've tended to believe that, like, pick the bike that you're going to do better on the hill with and accept the penalty on the flat when you're racing. I'm not convinced of that. They're back, by the way. And I'm 50 meters ahead of the yellow beacon, and I'm getting dropped back behind. I keep losing track of my rear avatar, and he's getting dropped. I need to focus on the back avatar and ignore the front one. I need to make the back one as efficient as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to soft pedal the front rider into the hill here and then hit the back one pretty good. And that should actually kind of pull them back together a little bit. So soft pedal now. The front guy slows, 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 slows. Hit it for the rear guy. The front one has to accelerate. The rear guy holds that pace into the hill. And you'll see the gap close a bunch. We're also going to use power up on the rear guy. And the rear guy just went past the leader. I feel like I only have left side audio on Zwift. I can only hear them in my left ear. We got a lot more testing to do like this, guys. Now I want to race. Now I want to do this in a race. But I want to get a high quality lightweight equipment on one rider and high quality aero equipment on the other. The problem is I don't think my second avatar has high quality anything. So I need to fight to get them a little bit better. So what simple bike to get is really good on the hills? Like, I can go try to get the wheels, the lightweight wheels. I think the real debate is, I think the real debate's going to come down to different wheels, like the 404s, 454s versus the disc. Like, maybe if I put two people on the same bike and just switch wheels, that will tell us a little more. Maybe. The problem is my second avatar just doesn't have anything. Well, I guess we're close to level 11. I don't want to farm for drops. I hate the farm for drops. Do I need to be like the true testers and get the hackers involved and just hack it and test it? Yeah, I need to go do a little investigation. The Evo? Okay. $105.10. Remember, we slowed this front guy down like 4 times. And he still is finishing 10 seconds ahead. He would have easily been a minute, I think. This is just nuts. I don't even know how to interpret this, guys. I really don't know what to say about this yet. Like I said, there's clearly a difference. Does the difference matter? I don't know. Nike, if you looked at the beginning of the ride, before we ever got to the mountain, we were way apart. So maybe tonight we just ride a flat. We'll just ride flat. Maybe that's the next test, is we do a similar setup and we'll just ride flat. And see what we can do on just a flat course. I need to find a group ride, so I'm not going to be able to pick the course as much as whatever group ride is fairly flat at the time that I'm going to be able to test it, because I need the pack. That's critical, is having the pack to test with. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to... I don't know about salts. I need to look. I did feel okay for that ride. I don't want to ride hard yet, but I did feel okay, so I feel like I could do that again later today. I need to take off for now. Let's look for somebody to host. We definitely are putting a exclamation point at the end of this one. Like, there's a lot more that needs to be dug into here. Let's hit Bruise up. We're gonna raid Bruise Games Rides, and call it a day, guys. Don't forget the ladies are riding right now. Go Lady All-Stars. Looks like they're rocking it. They're going to do great. Bath salts, I'll be back on sometime tonight, so look for me to ride. But it'll be at least 3 hours from now, probably. So we're going to kick off the raid. Everybody have a good afternoon. We'll see y'all later.